Hello, this is Mike Hoffman, Product Manager for Keysight Technologies. I'm here to tell you about the all-new Infiniium EXR-Series oscilloscope and why it's so powerful, easy to own, and intuitive to use. With 2.5 gigahertz of bandwidth and 16 gigasamples per second sample rate on 4 or 8 channels, all simultaneously, standard memory at 100 megapoints per channel, and over 50 standard measurements and functions, there's a lot to cover, so let's get started. The Infiniium EXR-Series is powerful, and you need to test through the power ecosystem, starting with the power coming out of the wall socket, all the way to the power being consumed by the devices you design. The EXR-Series has measurements, applications, and industry-exclusive probes to help you analyze power supplies, power management ICs, power rails, and current consumption down to sub-microamp levels, all in one box. And since all of these systems are connected, it's common for an engineer to identify a problem with the power rail and deduce it's the fault of the power supply, hence the power inconvenience of all of these test applications in one solution. The EXR-Series has you covered no matter where in the power ecosystem you're testing. Protocol layer test is simple with the EXR-Series. You can decode dozens of protocols and display that information in tons of different ways. But where the EXR-Series really sets itself apart is with hardware triggering, which lets you find exactly what you're looking for on your bus with as little work as possible and reliably. Many other oscilloscopes use software to do this, leaving you with slow, search-based triggers that are less reliable for finding rare events like errors. Below the decoded data, there's the physical layer, or PHY, and testing this is the EXR-Series core competence, thanks to its fantastic signal integrity, all-new high-resolution mode, and an awesome suite of applications. The basics are done right, with capabilities like visual triggering and comprehensive jitter analysis. And the EXR-Series can also help make measurements better by removing the effects of probes, or with measurement simulation, like visualizing a signal somewhere you can't even physically probe. The Infiniium EXR-Series is easy to own. Let's talk about instrument integration, offline testing, and upgradability. The EXR-Series is a 7-in-1 tool. Shown here is an image to scale of what you would need on your bench to replace an EXR-Series, and it's crowded. That's 2 4-channel oscilloscopes, a 16-channel logic and protocol analyzer, a 4-digit voltmeter, 3 counters, a 50 MHz arbitrary waveform generator, and a frequency response analyzer. Another great option for the EXR-Series is our Pathwave Infiniium offline software. Infiniium Offline is the exact same software that's on your Infiniium EXR-Series oscilloscope, but installed on your PC instead. And since it's the same code, your user experience and feature sets are identical, no new menus to learn. But all of the same options and analysis are right on your PC. How it's done couldn't be simpler. Collect a waveform on the scope, as you always would in the lab, and save it to a flash drive or a network drive, or you can control the scope remotely. Then load the data into Infiniium Offline on your PC from the comfort of your home office, no internet required. From there, all of the analysis, measurements, documentation, and screenshots you would normally do in front of the scope are done on your PC instead. This lets you reduce time spent in the office or lab, as well as free up the EXR-Series oscilloscope for others to collect their data if it's being shared. The EXR-Series is also fully upgradable with no exceptions. Even the EXR-Series channels can be upgraded from 4 to 8 post-purchase. This gives you ultimate peace of mind, since upgrading what you already own can often be simpler and easier than buying new equipment. The EXR-Series is also designed to be intuitive to use, with less guesswork and more repeatable measurements. Many oscilloscopes claim impressive specifications, but behind the scenes require you to turn on special modes that compromise measurements in ways you may not be aware of. With the EXR-Series, we made maximizing performance automatic, always on, and with no guesswork. ASIC powered triggering of over 200,000 waveforms per second helps you see more of your signal. Hardware waveform averaging eliminates noise from measurements faster. And faster measurements and eye diagrams reduce overall time to test in many ways. The EXR-Series also features the Keysight exclusive Fault Hunter application, which we provide with a one-click shortcut on the front panel. It will statistically analyze a signal, compare it to a normal signal, and find errors. In a single click, the Fault Hunter provides access to analyze that error and dive even deeper by automatically setting up complex, advanced triggers with one click. Nothing compares to the simplicity and effectiveness of Keysight's Fault Hunter. Now, this class of modern oscilloscopes are complex tools with hundreds of functions and features available, and Keysight has gone to great lengths to ensure these tools are simple and repeatable in easy to find places without limiting their capability. Quick setups are available to enable common measurements, triggers and decodes for serial buses, eye diagrams, jitter decomposition, and Fault Hunter. With one click, the scope will do most or all of the setup work for you. More complex tests have setup wizards, step-driven dialog boxes that help fine-tune analysis even further, while explaining different features and settings in detail. To summarize, the EXR-Series is more powerful thanks to its broad array of test applications, probes, and features for power, protocol, and physical layer tests. It's easier to own, with built-in instruments, offline software access, and full upgradability. And the EXR-Series oscilloscopes are intuitive to use with always-on speed, Fault Hunter technology, and ease-of-use features like one-click setups, wizards, and better UI control. To learn more, go to www.keysight.com/find/EXR.